nice items for the auction, and we have a lot of giveaways here, so be sure to enter your name over there on the table so you get a ticket, because when we start drawing the numbers here, everyone who we pick gets one of these bags. Now you don't have to take the bag, but I think your friends might, or they'll want to talk you out of this, because these are 2 or 3 radio pods with a bunch of filter capacitors in there, and they're all radio values. They are not TV or any other weird stuff. So, over there you need to sign in. We have a Excel spreadsheet that lists everyone by their last name, and all you do is you tear off one ticket, keep one, and the other one, you throw the other one up here. So we'll continue the meeting as, you guys do that. Now, the other thing is over here, we have a lot of smaller, lesser values for capacitors. So you take a baggie and fill it up with 25 items or so, and we're trying to limit it 1 bag per person. But if we have leftovers, then it's probably pretty much going to be a free-for-all. So if you guys can quietly take a bag, gather 25 items of these lesser capacitor values, then you can do that as long as you don't disrupt the meeting too much. Do we have any new members or guests today? Yes. Your name?
My name's Dan.
Dan, welcome, Dan.
Great to be here.
Did you enter your name into the, you need to enter, we have a special drawing for new members and guests. So be sure. Are there any other guests today?
Dan too, another Dan.
Oh, Dan too, okay. Dan, number 2, did you, all right, so where's the, you have it there. So Dan, the other Dan, we need your other half up here. You keep one, and the other half goes in here.
Okay. Bring it up. I'm in there. You're in this one? I think so. We'll grab another ticket and we'll put it in here.
Yeah. Okay. Dan's going to win regardless.
You got it.
Okay, thank you. All right. How about health and welfare? Everyone good? All right, great. That's good news. Good news. What? Oh, yes. Well, what do you guys think of new chairs? You like them? Okay. Great. Now, the old ones were available for free. I got called up by Judy, but then she called me at the last minute saying that someone took all of the old brown chairs. So I thought, it was like, wow. So if you guys see stuff on Craigslist. So do we have any leads and needs? No leads, no needs. Oh yes, John.
I'm looking for some back issues of the call letter.
Okay, well, that's like
Would you like to know the specific ones? Okay. I have most of them, but I must have lent some to some of you guys, and I never got them back. So I'm looking for December 2012, November 2014, October 2015, and February 2017.
I believe February 2017 we did not have a caller. Or we,
There was a possibility.
Don, I think I saw you here. Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay, you're not going to get that one.
Okay.
That's the rarest one.
But December 2012, November 2014, October 2015.
No, I write them all down.
I'll give you my list, Steph.
Okay, you get the list afterwards.
You want paper or electronic?
Paper.
Paper. Okay. Old business. How many of you guys got stuff last month from Free Geeks auction? Did you guys show up? Was it good stuff? Were you happy with any of that stuff? Good stuff. Okay, good deals. Okay, we've partnered with Free Geeks, and They're an organization, they can help seniors obtain free or low-cost computers. They also have free classes, so if you want to be trained on how to repair computers and cell phones, then it's a good place to go to learn all that. And they'll do it for free. Franklin, you go there?
Yeah.
What did you learn?
I learned about MIT, the Linux operating systems. They do have that there. Read MIT there. And also you can volunteer and tear stuff apart.
So, there's free training for all you guys that are retired and don't have anything else to do. Yes, Scott?
Michael, do you know if Free Geek still has a deal where you can volunteer time in return for a computer?
Yeah, for everybody. Yeah, 24 hours. If you spend 24 hours there, you can get a laptop or a desktop.
Okay, free computers. Free computers after 24 hours of hard manual labor. 10th South downtown kind of area, right?
On this side of the river.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
Oh, you want to do that now? Oh, okay. All right.
This is when you do that for the guests. We got
Sonny, would you draw and see what stand wins?
Okay, Dan Gunderson.
Dan Gunderson, come and claim your prize. Yeah, this works. Thanks, Sonny. All right. We also partner with a place called Columbia Recycling. They're the ones that have the repair clinics where you take all your old junk and they'll try to fix it free of charge, of course. We have a couple of radios that were graciously restored by Ed, and they'll be up for sale soon. So they have a little Sony AM/FM and then a Philco plastic set. Yeah. So they have been restored. And they will.
That AM/FM is a really good radio. It sounds beautiful.
Yeah, they will let us know when and where they come up for sale, but they have not been listed yet. So we also have 5 other items from Columbia Recycling that we're looking for people in this club either to restore, or if you want to purchase them, then let me know if you're interested. Basically, there's a little Traveler Bakelite, there's a Guild phonograph. Now, this is not a radio, this is actually a record-playing Guild with a horn speaker, and then there's another wood radio and a tape recorder, and I think there's 2 tape recorders. Anyhow, if anyone's interested in helping Columbia Recycling out, you can...
What is a guild?
Guild is a manufacturer. They're famous for a lot of, I think, what they would call tube novelty radios. So this is a tube.
Well, you said a record player, so I was kind of interested in that.
Oh yeah, it's a record player. So you might be interested in placing a bid on this, maybe. Okay. We'll see you afterwards.
Where are they located again?
Columbia, or these items? They're at my house because
Okay.
Tara dropped them by.
Okay.
All righty. They also are planning to have a repair clinic in Battleground. So I'm looking for any volunteers that would like to set up like a radio triage at one of these places. You know, it'd be like, we can test tubes, maybe like up to 12 tubes. And if you bring in your radio, maybe we'll test the tubes, power cords, things like that. So I'm looking for any volunteers that wants to join up with them in Battleground. So let me know. Any questions on that? Okay. So the next part for old business is the OMSI Maker Fair.
So the holiday maker fair went on, and it started Saturday. We had, let's see, all the people that were there. Lyles was there, Pat was there, Blake and Brian, Larry's not here today. Larry Osborne was there. And Robbie was there. Robbie was there for the submarine, right, most of the time. But yeah, it was really good, and they loved the Thurman. people were coming up and playing it, and we had a couple people that played actual music or at least recognizable music through it. Most of the time it just screeched and things. Oh, we also had a guest out back there, and Dan helped out quite a bit there too. But everybody had a bunch of fun. It did rain Sunday, so we had to move it in and out. Sometimes we move it in underneath the cover, but we met a lot of people, and a lot of people were interested in old radios. Pat's plastic radios were a big hit. Everybody liked it. So the pretty colors, yeah, the rainbow colors of them. And that's about it. Oh, and we all got T-shirts. These are the T-shirts they have. Anybody wanted them for. And so hopefully in the next year you'll be coming.
Ivan the Pro is also with us at Walk Radios on Saturday.
Oh, whoops. That's for sure. Thanks so much.
Okay, when we have a maker fair and when we go to Columbia Recycling and when we show up at different other places, we're still looking for you guys' business cards of those who repair radios. So we went through a whole set of them. So we need your business cards if you want to advertise to the public that you repair radios. So I need your business cards. And so far we've only gotten repair cards from 2 different sources, and that's it. So if you guys want some exposure out there, we're out there, but we don't have your cards. So please get them to us. Is there any other old business? Okay, let's go to new business. Is Tony Hauser here?
I'll get it, Pat. He's just outside.
Oh, okay. It's regarding the archives and storage. Does anyone feel generous about renting us for free space in your garage to house the archives? And Tony will tell you it's like two drawer filing cabinets. Does anyone feel generous? No one has room. Okay, so that's
About how big would you say they are?
Tony, how big of a footprint do you need for store the archives?
Basically, what they're in are two drawer file cabinets. So
Like metal ones, the standard business metal ones?
yeah. So like about this tall, about that size footprint, something like that. One of them's a little bit deeper than the other.
Could we stack them?
You cannot stack those two, no. Because one of them is on wheels, and that one also, the top portion of it that looks like a drawer isn't a drawer. You actually lift the lid back and it drops down to the back of it. So that one can't be on the top, and it can't be on the bottom.
What happens if we moved them all to one 4-drawer? Could we do that?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Does anyone have a 4-drawer metal cabinet they wish to donate or sell to the club? Because yes.
I have a suggestion. I can't speak for them, but you guys already hold your board meetings at the Tech Museum. Why don't you email Bob Hodge, get a hold of him and see if the Tech Museum would host one file cabinet on behalf of this organization.
Okay. Well,
Not a promise, but it's a question that ought to be asked at least, and see if they do it.
Jerry, that's a good idea. I'm just trying to think of where we could put it, but that's okay. We can put our heads together.
I think they would find space for one file cabinet.
I agree.
so then it sounds like we need to purchase or get
I might also have room for 1 or 2.
1 or 2? Okay, great. John, what's your last name?
Livingston.
Livingston. Okay, will you run?
Oh, you have space for it also?
Maybe I'd like you guys to kind of see what it looks like.
Sure. Could you get back
Maybe
to us?
make a
Liz?
commitment for like a year or something like that.
Wow, wonderful. Yes, Tony.
Yeah, and I'll be holding on to it until the November meeting. So it's next month is the swap meeting. So
Oh,
we won't
great,
be here.
great.
So
So John, maybe if you could,
It's not an immediate rush, you know. it's not
okay,
immediate.
maybe if you could let us know by the October meeting, or the show. Are you gonna be at the show in Aurora?
I'm not sure, but I can talk to this guy a little more, get a little more information.
Okay.
Yes, you can just follow up with me.
Sure, yeah, his name's Tony. This is John.
Hey,
So, brings up the next point, we don't have anyone to store the extension cords and outlets. Does anyone have room to store the club's power cords and outlets used in the radio shows?
You mean swap meet?
Swap meets? Okay, sure, swap meets. Swap meet show, radio sale, yes. Does anyone have room for those?
How much space?
There are 3 bins. They're the standard plastic bins, so they're about 3 feet by 2 feet. Okay, 18-gallon Sterilite containers.
Okay.
Okay, well, we'll put a hold on that then.
Where are they now?
They're back here.
We run out of space.
Yes, Judy is going through and trying to get space. So there's going to be a time where she's going to go back there and find those things, and she's probably going to. Well, I hope she doesn't toss them, but we're probably going to have to find a home for them eventually.
Now, when you say 3 bins, are they like bins that are?
Yeah, there are 3 plastic bins.
Just bring one out.
Oh, you want to do a drawing? Or waiting? Oh, okay. We'll do a couple.
Jerry, do you want to see if we can con some space at the museum for those 3 bins? What do you think?
Doesn't hurt to ask.
We can try, yeah.
Okay, no, ticket number 124. 149, 124, 149,
Wow, I got one for you.
I'm 1, 2, 3.
and 141. Anyone have those? These
Why don't you get
are,
us back again?
okay, 124, 149,
Yay!
141.
I got 149.
Oh, okay.
Well, I got one for you.
I got 141.
141, oh, okay.
Well, that's 148.
141 is the last one. It says 149, 124. Oh. And go ahead and keep that because we,
And drop it. You put it back.
we'll probably, we'll keep these out. Yeah. Well, okay. So which one are we missing? 124? Okay, we continue on. So we're looking for anyone who wants to attend the Tesla radio show. That's the one where it's in the old church downtown. They have a live performance. We're going to set up a table there for NWVRS. And we're looking for anyone who wants to watch that radio show. It'll be October, it's one day, it's the Friday before our swap meet. So I think, what is that, the 12th? Yes. They could, but we're just interested. Yeah. Well, also the fake radio also has discounted tickets for us if anyone wants to attend the fake radio show. That's the same kind of idea. It's a live performance of older radio shows, but they put a spin on it and they try to entertain people with their different thoughts on how it should have been. So we have those 2 live performances, and let me know if anyone wants to attend those. So is there any other new business that we want to come up with? Or, I'm sorry, that was old business. Does anyone want to speak on the, for old business, the estate auction?
I'm back here.
Blaine, do you need a microphone?
I don't know, I'll get up in the front and ask the same question. Do I need a microphone? How about back in the back? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I got it. You don't need a microphone. I've been questioned a couple of times this morning. What's going on? We didn't get a call. First of all, thank you to those folks who stepped up and wanted to be part of this. We received some very unfortunate news about 2 weeks ago when I learned that the Nielsen Auction House will not be handling this auction. Dale Nielsen has fallen ill. The auction house is for sale. Okay. Now the good news is when we set out to find the auction house, I started off with about 6 or 7 on my list and called out a number of them very quickly. The number 2 is in Aurora. How many of you have heard of McLaren or have been to one of their auctions? Okay. McLaren has stepped in and is going to assist us with this. As it turns out, Gary McLaren has already been in communications with Dale Nielsen, and they are willing to meet all of the requirements and all of the opportunities that we have afforded them and they us. And so, but we do have to take a step back because Gary and his team want to get into the house and see what they're dealing with. But as far as this group acting as an advocate, they have said, yes, absolutely, we'd love that. So we are still planning on unearthing the house, everything out of the basement, 2 floors in the attic will be coming out. I've got somebody who's volunteered to run the computer and build the manifest as the items come out of the house. This is for one of the advocacies we'll be providing to give the estate a list of what's coming out of the house. It will not be as granular as in this box there were the following 6 radios. It will just be a box of radios. But there's a lot of really nice pieces in there that will build the manifest. We've got a couple of people who have offered to come out and take pictures so that we'll be able to advertise the manifest with photos. Gary McLaren is going to be coming out with his team on Tuesday morning. So I have just learned this as of last night. I have not communicated this out to the team. So those of you who are part of that group from the society that are representing this little council, if you will, please see me during or after the meeting, and I can give you some particulars, but we're meeting over there at 10:30 to go into the house and let them walk through. As part of the advocacy, we'll be doing things like there were Crosley pups everywhere. Now, it'd be really nice if we found headphones and tubes to go with Crosley pups so they could go as one item going out. That helps get a little bit higher price for the estate. It ensures that the folks that are buying it get a complete set. So we'll be acting in that way. We'll also be helping them advertise it. I'll be working with Pat to ensure that as many clubs as we can get a hold of, and ARC, which is back in business, and my understanding from somebody this morning is that it's starting to kind of rise back up to the top again, which is great. But we will get out on the forums and we'll advertise this as it will be a local auction. We'll be in an auction house. We'll want people who want to handle the radios and help McLaren. That's still going to be open positions, and we'll help them get out of the house. Those people who are helping empty the house get to see this stuff before anybody else. Settle in. We've got plenty of people who have signed up, and we'll take all we can. It means that it either happens a little faster, or those folks that come in the afternoon can help, and in the morning through a little bit of assist. Okay? That's about all I've got on that right now. Ed has graciously offered his garage. I think we took care of you with the Ludwig. You have a question about?
So is Tuesday a day where you will be physically moving stuff out, or is it just a show?
No, this is for the McLarens to get in to get an idea of what they need to bring to empty this thing. We've already done that with the Nielsens, and they were going to come out with a semi-truck, and the agreement with them was that the club would pull the stuff out and get it into the database, get a picture of it, and then the auction team would load it onto the truck. So we didn't have any responsibility beyond getting out of the house, and that's where I wanted our responsibility to end. Just a minute, I had a question over here somewhere, I think. Yes?
I was just wondering when this is going to happen, the auction.
When you find out, would you let me know?
No, okay. So
TBD, I would guess it won't be any earlier than November. It takes time to get the manifest produced and get the advertising out. The pieces, some of the pieces that are in this house, might bring an East Coast guy on an airplane out here to get it. So we may have out-of-towners coming in. Fortunately, the auction houses they're great at telling them where to stay and where to eat and all that kind of, we're not going to participate in that, but we will advertise it out. I would guess at least 2 months after it has, after they've signed the contract, and that we're not part of that. As soon as I have a date, we will get it out to the club members so that you guys can plan. I mean, there's thousands of items here. This is not going to be your come on down, spend a couple hours with us. This is bring a bag lunch and maybe dinner too. Okay.
Wait.
Yes.
Is all the stuff eventually going to end up at McLaughlin's place?
That's our hope. It's going to go somewhere, but it needs to come out of the house.
Well, he's got room.
With the Nielsen's, they were going to take everything. They were going to pull it all out, and they were going to take the barber chair, the couch, and the china cabinet. They were going to take all of it, and that really pleased the estate. They would have to hear that. I don't know if McLaren's going to take everything or just the radios. I think if you took the radios out of the house, it would be semi-unfurnished. 90%
It would be a lot clearer, is what you mean. A lot more. And when all these radios are moved, does Gary have boxes and stuff like that to put? A coffee cup is this big, and a person can carry 10 of them. Is that what he's going to do? He's going to bring his own moving materials, right? I know that's a detail, but
it's a detail that we're not responsible for. McLaren runs auctions all the time, and I know they've done things smaller than that. I know I've seen auctions he's done with perfume bottles and liquor decanters, and I would assume that they have something. But I can tell you that if I come to the auction, I'm bringing a lot of my own, just because I don't want one piece of caddying around. I want 6. Especially if I buy it in the Frosty Club. I want to take it home the size of a basketball, not.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
I really don't know the answer for you.
Okay.
You had a question.
Yeah, I think 2 questions basically. I was going to ask if you had a date, tentative date, when it was going to be, and was the stuff going to be taken out of the house? It sounds like
So
it is.
far, it is the 6th Tuesday in November. I don't have. Gary?
Do you have a date when things are gonna come out of the house?
I don't, but I'm going to assume that on Tuesday, both of the folks that are involved in the estate, Tana will be there, and I think the other fellow's name is Craig, or no, Jeff, will be there. I will assume that Gary will enter into negotiations with them. I know Tana has a little bit of a concern she wrote about, saying that she went out and looked at the site and saw that they had done some radios in the past, and she was deeply disturbed by the prices they got. I owe her a phone call. I told her I would call her. Let her know that those were radio, well, a bunch of consoles that went for $10 and $20 a piece.
Oh.
And he let her know that those consoles were taken out of the garage because somebody didn't want them, and they were in pretty poor condition, most of them, and that it was not a radio auction, it was an auction with radios in it, and that's a very different thing.
And they were consoles.
Where is this house at?
In Portland.
Proper, southeast, northeast?
I'm not at liberty to say, but I will tell you that it is off of I-5. I would call it north. I would call it northwest.
More than north.
Maybe northeast. I don't know. It's on this side of the Willamette.
Southeast,
Did I make it southeast?
Get a compass.
We Vancouverites don't know Portland. We didn't like to play. Any other questions before I leave?
Brian, high price out.
What's that?
Except for Brian, high price out.
Oh, no, we do very well in Vancouver doing that. It's all relative. Okay, thank you. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask me.
thanks, Frank.
Could you hold up for a second? Because we're going to talk about the Save the BS project. So
I have lots of BS.
I just want to mention that we really owe Blake a lot of thanks for all the hours he's put into this estate auction, because this really benefits us as a club, because most likely this auction would have taken place somewhere on the East Coast. They would have done like most of the other auction companies, come in, taken everything, said goodbye, and then the items would be auctioned somewhere in the Midwest or on the East Coast. What Blake is doing is ensuring that the auction is here, it's local, and we'll be able to see the items beforehand, and will be there present when the auction occurs. So a lot of work has been done to ensure that our club can participate. So next up, we have
Save the BS, which is battery sets. Me and Blake have been working on setting up a project to build a battery eliminator. So we're going to talk about that. But we also made T-shirts that say Save the BS on it with our logo on it. And we'd like anyone that wants one to order them, we're going to order them in bulk so we can all get a really good price on it.
The shirts or the BS's?
Okay, you don't need
I don't need mine. Hi, it's me again. So the Save the BS is something that I've been working on for years, quietly back in the corner, building a simple ABC power supply. Wouldn't it be fun if you could buy an ABC power supply that was the size of your fist and you could stick it in the radio and power it, and it was cheap enough that if you had 5 battery sets, you could afford to buy 5 power supplies?
Yep.
That would be $1,000 in RVs. Now, RV is an awesome unit, and what I'm building is nothing that would not compare to that. I have 2 or 3 RVs. One of them on my bench for testing. And I have been wholly satisfied, and thanks to Sonny for making it available without hesitation. I know your conditions have changed, but you've had it for years. So this is a very small supply. It'll go on probably a 2-inch by 3-inch board with a transformer hanging off the side. I have spent 5 years cost reducing it with very little effect on quality, and made a discovery about 5 years ago that made this whole thing possible, and called a slip-off and transformer, which have 2 primaries. And then it's designed to either run 240 or 110 by switching how many primaries you fire up. But what's really nice is you fire up one primary, the other one comes up about 120 as well. You steal that, take it over to the backside, use it for high voltage. That has brought the cost of the power supply down to somewhere probably without the case, $30, $35 with the case, and maybe an LED and a switch and a few other little goodies on it, bring it up into the $50 range. So it's kind of, in cost, it's commensurate with the yours transmitter. And I'm working with Tom Mayfield. Is Tom here this morning? Okay. Because I owe him element 13 part numbers so we can run the board and get those done. I can tell you I have 5 prototypes. 3 of them are in the field and have been working for about 2 or 3 years. The other 2 are on my bench. They're not fantastic. They have a little bit of hum in them. They may not be exactly the voltage you're looking for, but they are close enough to emulate the batteries that they're replacing. But it's a nice, inexpensive, so I've got units out there that are playing daily. They can be so much for us. But most important, it's inexpensive, and we'll make them available as kits to the club, and I'm sure that we'll have some assemblers as well. But the ones I have are on photo boards. These will actually be on circuit boards, very similar to what you get with SIDS transmitter. That's where we are on that. He owns the T-shirts. I own the design. My intent is that we'll get probably 4 or 5 boards in here for prototypes. I will be dispensing them out to certain individuals as Sid did, looking for improvements. It's a real cheap way of getting improvements without having to pay for them. We're ready to roll probably in 6 months. That we'll have a much improved power supply. The cost will probably be roughly the same. So that's where we're at. Any questions on the power supply?
Yeah, just the easy one. How is there a max number of tubes that your power supply would be happy to give you filament power?
That's based on the capability of the filament supply, and the filament supply is it's going to have 6.3 volt output, which will be adjustable for 1.5 to 5, and about 3.2 amps, which will power.
About 12 tubes.
Yeah, about 12 tubes.
Yeah,
but most
that's
of
plenty.
it's designed around a 5, 6, 7 tube set. The other limiting factor in it is if you've got a radio like a 33 something, I think those take 165 volts to get the 171. This power supply will deliver 135 volts max. And then, so it'll be 135, 90, 67 and a half, 45, 22, and then a variable in the A, and then it will have a programmable C, and that will be done with a diode. And a diode return line pipe will deliver anywhere from about 2 volts up to about 22 milliamps. Very simple supply, but it is included for that.
Is the idea that you would just install this inside the radio set, make it work?
Yep, that's what the design criteria was. It's very simple. Some people won't even want a box for it. You just get on plastic bags and set it there. The wires run up, and the idea was to get it small enough to put it in the radio inside, cheap enough where you could have one for each radio. How many of you have more than a dozen battery radio sets from the 20s at home? Okay, cool. We may have to, yeah, I know you do, but we may have to do discounts for you guys. The intent was that sub $50 you could afford to put one in that radio. That may be you might want an RV for that. But anyway, any other questions, let me know. I'll be back.
No, I said thanks. Sorry.
So this project was set up just to save the battery sets. So thank you, Blake, thank you, Franklin, because we see a lot of battery sets out there. They're not worth a lot. People don't sell them for a lot. So this will hopefully save the battery sets. Next up, we have the recording secretary. Yes, Lyles, are you ready for the minutes?
Okay, the minutes of our August meeting are published in the September 2019 call letter. Are there any questions or comments or objections? And if there are not any, I'd like to have a motion to approve the minutes as published in the September call letter. Yeah, second? Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the minutes as published. All in favor, raise your hand.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the motion carries. Thanks, Pat.
Oh, now I give it to Ed.
I can write that down. Yeah. You remember it all?
Good morning, everybody. The Jim Mason Fund continues to grow up to $40,800. Our savings fund just sits there at $2,000. I believe the board decided to transfer some of that savings over to pay for the new cell phone. Do you remember us talking about that? Well, we'll do that. Franklin gets me an invoice, I guess. And our checkbook has been averaging all year long somewhere between $6,000 to $8,000. It's very stable. Any questions? Yes.
What's the cell phone for?
Apparently, the phone that Franklin has been using to stream our meetings was getting overheated and not robust enough, so we decided to get a more robust phone dedicated to that.
Okay.
Okay.
Is Mark Moore here for the corresponding secretary web report? Any, see here?
He works on Saturday.
Oh, okay. Sometimes he does show up. It depends on whether he has to mow the lawn or not. Librarian, do we have a librarian report?
Everything's good. Thank everybody. We're down to like one book out, so people have been good about bringing them back. So other than that, there's nothing new.
Robbie, you want to do any update for the fall radio sale? Oh, yeah.
Okay, next month is our show, the second Saturday. Now, any of the new members here know where the show is at? And that we're having the show? Any members that do not know where it's at? Okay. It's in Aurora. and it's gonna be the second Saturday, and it's gonna be at 10 o'clock to 3 in the afternoon, 10 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon. At the VW Hall, on Main, I guess it's Main Street? Main Street.
Right off.
So I'm gonna make sure everybody knows where it's at, and what time we're gonna be there. Now, I got my book with me for, if you wanna pay for your tables today, or you can pay for them at the show. It doesn't matter. So after the meeting, just let me know if you wanna buy a table or not, because there's about 15 tables left. So, any other questions about the show? Well, I'm not sure about the food right now.
There was some comment about have it running the show later, or when were you going to have it in? The comment was that to have the show later for other people that are shopping in the Aurora area. How long do you want us to stay?
Well, we go from 3 to 4. Yeah.
Okay, that should be fine.
Okay.
Robbie, do you know if they fixed that ramp to get in?
No, I haven't talked to him yet,
Oh.
so, but I hope he's got it done by now.
It's been a while.
Yeah. Okay, any more questions? Everybody up to date on what's going on?
Yeah, I had a problem before with the ramp. My wife and I went out there, she couldn't do that ramp if it was there. I was kind of hoping, told it was going to be changed, and I think Bob voted that since we couldn't go, I would get a complimentary table this time for this sale. We voted on the food. So save me a table.
Well, I've still got the same spot where you were supposed to be last time.
Okay, well, as long as you know about it, I'm going to talk to you about it later. As long as you're talking about it. Anyway, it's all good. And we'll come out Friday and get the stuff in there like we normally do. What time do you open up?
Oh, yeah, Friday's at 2 o'clock in the afternoon when we start putting all the tables up and all the chairs and everything, and all the electrical cords and everything.
Okay. 2 o'clock Friday. All right.
Okay, does that take care of it?
Thanks, Robbie.
Is Don here from the call letter editor? Don, do you have anything?
Nothing major, but I really constantly impressed with the quality of articles, contributions that people have been, sending in. And I think that there are people who do that should be.
So if you have articles you wish to have published, send them in to Don.
Oh, one other thing, if you want to send something in, it's RTF, WordPad, Microsoft Word. I'd rather stay away from PDFs, but we can handle it. But it's real flexible, so don't be intimidated.
Okay, thanks, Don. Okay, next up, Vice President.
Okay, we're gonna do one more round while you're listening. Several, okay. Yeah.
We don't have lots back. We may end up, okay, number 132, 145, and 151, which happens to be Ray Nelson.
Cliff, would you grab one for me?
So for the feature of the month is standalone speakers. Let's go ahead and start on this far side here. Speakers.
Thank you.
And my son is around here someplace. All the artwork for this
standalone speaker display. These are all focused on the sound area. And it's rather interesting. The first home speaker that I obtained was given me by one of my coworkers back around 1965. He said that he thought it would be better in my collection than his house because it had been used for target practice. And it's a selector from Seattle, which bears quite a striking resemblance to the roll-up, which in the 1925 period was built in Seattle before the open.
Right next to
The most recent acquisition in the speaker department at our house is the Aerex, which we got at the last Club Swap. In addition to the Buzz 3, we have now this is the Enchanter, the ship speaker, and there's a discussion about whether this is a Swoboda or a Swoboda, but nevertheless, it was built in Seattle, and it definitely has a sea motif. You see the ship's wheel design in it.
Tell us something about this beautiful one here with the blue and the brass looking speaker there. No, the other one here, this kind of blue interior. Oh, okay, somebody else.
So Sonny's going to do that tech talk now.
Call it that. I'm going to talk a little bit, but I don't know how technical it'll be. I'll start off with saying among the first of this basically is going to be about radio loudspeakers of the early days, 20s, teens, 20s, 30s. Standalone speakers could encompass speakers all the way up to modern time, which I won't get into. But everybody hear me all right? Yep. The first type of loudspeaker would have been in phonographs about 1980 or 1888, when the early phonographs had acoustical type loudspeaker. And then later on during the 20s, when the earphone was invented, such a device as used on the earphone might be attached to one of those phonograph horns and make an early type of loudspeaker. Of course, in the very early days, there wasn't much around for radio then, except the wireless sets. And the first type of horn speaker would have been something like this, where you would have a speaker where you could attach your earphones to it. Like this. Then your earphone receiver would become available for an audience. Not too many of these were around. I think there's one other version of this type of speaker I've seen. It's called a moon. This one's called an air. It's very forgetful. This is called an amplitone by Keene.
I'm going to ask, has anybody seen one of those before? Thank you very much. Sonny, I've never seen one before. No, I don't even know there were such a thing.
What was that? Early 20s, I would say. Early 20s. Most of the horn speakers were in the early 20s because in the mid 20s the cone type speakers were becoming popular. And so all of these over here is a horn speaker, and I'll talk about each one individually. This particular one is a little horn with the brand Qualitone. It's a cute little speaker, kind of heavy. One thing you should never do is what I'm doing here is people picking up the horn, because often when you do that, the base will fall off and get damaged or broken. But I just happen to know this one's secure, so that's why I picked it up. This little guy in the back here is often mispronounced or misrepresented as a shaw phone, spelled S-H-A-W, when in reality it's the show phone or chauffeur phone. And these were made for the wealthy who owned automobiles back in the early days, who could communicate with their chauffeur or the driver, because the passenger partition was often partitioned off so that there was no communication from the back of the car to the front where the driver was. Pass this around and look at it. There's an ad for this particular device made by Western Electric. So the chauffeur would have one of these up front near his ear with a microphone. And the passenger compartment would have the same thing in the back with another microphone, which had been hooked to an amplifier, so communications could be carried on between the driver, between the passenger and the chauffeur. That's called the show phone. Something like that. This little guy here, although it looks like a microphone, is another horn speaker. So it's snail shell coiled around in there, which comes out the full opening here as the opening of a horn. That's like this. This little guy here, by crossing, often referred to as the mushroom, and it too is a horn speaker. Horn speakers were popular, as I said earlier, up until the mid-20s when the cone speakers were developed. And most of the cone speakers, like this one and this one, are armature driven. There are about 4 different types of horn speakers. We've got the acoustical type, which is strictly acoustical, which was driven by phonographs. And there was a reproducer on the pickup arm which would convert the vibrations from the record into audible sound, which was channeled through an acoustical chamber which come out as a horn. And that's basically the same principle as these. Small chamber where your reproducer comes out as a horn which amplifies it. The drivers for such speakers on the early ones were much like an earphone, called the diaphragm driven. So you had a pair of magnets, which would be energized by the audio signal, and that would vibrate, producing your airwaves to come out the horn. But some were a little more sophisticated than that. For example, the Magnavox invented the voice coil in 1915. And all the early Magnavox speakers sounded so much better because they were driven by a voice coil. And the voice coil patent, I think, Magnavox held on to for many years, and so few other speakers used the voice coil in the early 20s. However, there was one company who got around that, and the company was called Thorola, which made the Thoraphone. You can pass this around and look at it. If you ever see one of those speakers and wonder why that big box, inside that box is their way of getting around the voice coil. They didn't pay Magnavox anything, although they used a voice coil, but they use a voice coil to make an armature-driven speaker. And if you look at the mechanism on that, it's quite complicated. So they probably would have spent less money paying Magnavox for the patent rights to use the voice coil than they did building that thing to get around the patent. Look on the back of it, you'll see the mechanism. And you've got a voice coil which drives a cantilever device, which in turn drives a diaphragm, which in turn feeds the horn. So you've got the diaphragm type driver, you've got the armature type driver, and you get the voice coil type driver. Those are the 3 basic types of early reproducers. You pass it around to those who want to see it. My earliest encounter with a speaker when I was in my teens was one of these, and I thought, my goodness, I had seen a lot of naked radios, but never seen a speaker like this. I wondered where the voice coil was. Well, there is none. This is an armature-driven speaker, much like this. And the armature is driven by a vein that vibrates between 2 pole pieces, which in turn drives a rod which moves the cone. So, with that in mind, any questions? Yeah.
Do you know the names of the 2 cone speakers?
This is a Peerless, and this is a I should have known that, but I can't. It's 10 minutes. It looks like you get my trust. I gave my pen away with a light on it, so
Oh.
oh, it's called Kind Arts. Kind Arts. Never heard of it.
How do you spell it?
Spell it for me, Tony.
It says fine arts.
Fine Arts.
Fine arts. F-I-N-E-A-R-T.
Oh, I had forgotten that. That's forgetting a lot of anyway. I forgot to mention, I thought about an example of one, but I guess I forgot to put it in here. Maybe I do have it. I guess I'm going to bring an example of an electrodynamic speaker, which was developed in the mid-20s, and they produce a lot more power. And I also forgot to mention the Magnavox voice coil-driven speaker also required a field coil, because none of the early Magnavox speakers were permanent magnet. They required a field coil, so Westman not only had to hook up your high impedance audio source to the Magnavox horn with the voice coil, you had to apply 6 volts to the field coil to drive that speaker, which was a little more complicated than the ordinary permanent magnet speaker, since this and all of these. In the mid-20s, sometimes the field coil in that speaker was quite heavy. Some of you probably wonder what this is, why I brought this. So this is not a roll of copper wire. This is the actual field coil out of an early electrodynamic speaker. There's 4.5 pounds of copper here. And they made it even bigger than this. I've seen some field coils twice this size on early high-powered speakers, not early radiola equipment. Now I'll ask if there's any questions that I might be able to answer. No?
I'm surprised at that place in time that the car didn't just use a tube. Like they use on ships, I think they just talk, they sound electronically. Sound travels very well in the tube. And I'm surprised in the 20s that they would actually have electronics.
Well, in the 20s, electronics is becoming very popular, so why do you want to use such antiquated technology when you got electronics?
Well, they did have some cars that had those speaking tubes.
Well, this was the more sophisticated, well off.
I just think it's interesting too that the field coil was used as a smoothing choke in power supply.
Say again, I forgot to put
The field coil was used as a smoothing choke in power supply.
Oh, yes, that's right. Ray brought up an important thing. These were also used in place of a choke in the power supply. If many of you are familiar with the power supplies, you usually had a source between the two filter capacitors, and it was often a choke or a field coil, or in some cases, the cheaper stuff, a resistor.
I was wondering, because of the amount of copper in that, did a lot of the old speakers get jumps just for copper?
Absolutely. When I was a kid, I used to tear them up to get this out of them, because when I was a kid, this was worth 35 cents a pound. So there's over $1 worth of copper here, and in 1955, $1 in my pocket was a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
But
So Sonny, in these, I can't remember what to call it, the actuators, like the E3 and the athletic killers. Those magnets were always soft metal magnets, and they constantly, or when you get them today, they're demagnetized. What do you do to resolve that problem?
Well, there's 2 things you can do. You can re-energize them with another very powerful magnet, or you can cheat. I don't know if I can pronounce it. You've seen these new powerful little neodymium magnets. You can, if you carefully polarize them, you can put those on. You can get them so small now you can even put them in an earphone and re-energize. Take that little neodymium magnet and make the magnet the original magnet. work like it was originally.
Just stick it on the original magnet?
Yeah, but you want to get the polarity right.
Otherwise,
That's what you have to be careful. Anything else?
Yeah.
Way in the back? Oh,
Am I right that the impedance of those things is about 10K, somewhere there around?
the impedance of most early speakers was between 1,000 and 2,000 ohms.
How critical is that in matching the output of the receiver?
Well, it's critical to the point where you cannot use a 1,000, 2,000 ohm speaker on a modern radio and vice versa.
Well, yeah, but I mean, for a 1920s battery set, if you had for some reason, would have a matching transformer for 10K, and you wanted to hook one of these up, would that help?
10K is awfully high. I don't think any of them are 10K. All the ones I've seen and I'm aware of are between 1,000 and 2,000, and they're pretty much interchangeable with very little difference in what you're going to hear.
Thank you.
But 10K is awfully high. I don't think 10K is a natural impedance for something. But
So Sonny, was the impedance chosen to match headphones?
probably because that's what most headphones work. Because that way you can use a speaker on a set that's powerful enough to deliver enough power on a set in place of your headphones.
And they'd be impedance matched for the old tube technology. We need a transformer then.
Right. Everything is pretty well matched. If you bought an amplifier, for example, if you had a one-tube receiver which wouldn't drive a speaker, you could drive a speaker by buying an amplifier, and it was matched to the impedance for the output of this receiver to the input of the transformer, and the output of the amplifier was in the same impedance range. And there were some speakers that were not high impedance, such as the Magnavox. The voice coil in the Magnavox was low impedance. So the Magnavox had a transformer built into it. If you look inside the Magnavox, or on the base of most Magnavox early speakers' horns, you had a little can there, and that was where your matching transformer was.
At one of our swap meets a few years ago, I picked up this speaker that the guy told me was from a car horn. The horn was from a car horn, and they had a speaker driver to it. Is that common, or is that homemade?
You know, I read an article once about one of the first horn speakers that was made, and I couldn't find it last night when I was trying to prepare this. And the story is, it was a horn called the Volgarola. Well, that was developed by trial and error one night when this early radio guy, I think he had something to do with RCA, was in the home of a relative or his home, and there was a number of people around trying to listen to a radio broadcast. And he got the bright idea of a horn. He went out and removed the horn from his car, brought it in, and crudely attached the driver from a pair of earphones to it so the whole room could hear it. And that's how the Volgarola, that Volgarola horn, which looks like a car horn, developed later into an actual production horn speaker by RCA.
Okay.
I cannot say who the author was. I looked for it last night.
Well, I'll look up Volgarola and see if I can find it. Thank you.
Well, I've got it somewhere in my archives of the literature, but I couldn't find it last night. So, but anyway, it's a story that I read somewhere about. Anything else? All right, then that's about all I thought there was one more thing I wanted to say. No, that's it. Thanks.
Okay, we have a special ribbon prize for the best display. So we'll go over here by raising your hand. Franklin's holding up the great ribbon. How many over here vote for Howard's display? Okay, I have 20. And then over here, how many are voting for Sonny's display? 24. Any wins, all right. So Frank has done a lot of research looking for nice ribbons, so I think you guys hopefully may want one of these, so we encourage you to enter in for the monthly feature so you can get one of these nice ribbons. Thanks, Franklin.
Will be raffle door prices and
Go ahead and
I thought it was a good tech talk.
So, sorry, folks, we didn't introduce that as the Tech Talk, but that was the Tech Talk for this month. Yep. I think we'll keep drawing more tickets here for the door prizes.